Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jeff. So, I'm making a follow-up video to my jobs in Hawaii forecast video that I made previously. Mostly because this question has come up yet again. People want to know how to make money, what they can do for a living in Hawaii, and that's a good question to ask. And I'm glad that a lot of you are encouraging me to make a second one. So, just to kick it off here, man, it's tough. It's tough to make a living in Hawaii, especially on the Big Island and Kauai, unless you're in specific niches. I'll tell you hands down right now, you would be well advised to try to get a job at a resort. I would say put some emphasis into that. Not saying they're all hiring, but that's where it seems like the most stable type of jobs are. I would say drivers, public utility drivers, people who are able to drive tour buses, they're always kind of coming up. Seems like places are usually struggling to find that. Food prep, people who are chefs. Seems like the state could really use some people with some hygienic food prepping skills. So all you chefs out there, you're in demand here. Like I said, the public utility drivers, teachers, I've heard that construction workers can get paid really good here. The thing is, with Hawaii, construction booms happen and they just stop. They fizzle out. I guess that's how all of construction is, right? When the 2007, 2008 financial recession happened, a lot of the construction guys were laid off. But I talked to a guy, he said the guy who holds the saying that says stop, go, yield. He says he makes $50 an hour when he's doing it. He's a local dude. That's pretty good money, right? $50 an hour. Another career field that's in demand that seems to come up is medical. A lot of travel nurses, travel nurse programs. Like I said, the resorts, bartending. You can make a really good living as a waiter or a bartender. I've heard anything from people who make $20 a night in tips to making $350 a night in tips. Just depends where you're working. I mean, if you're working out in one of the resort communities, Ko'olina or Waikoloa or Lahaina or Napili up in Maui, some of those resorts, big dollars, right? If you're working at a mom and pop shop, it's really difficult to make a living that's going to pay your bills fully. So outside of that, probably have a credit card handy just in case of an emergency. But figure out a way to also make some side money. Like I know a lot of people who just pick up side gigs here and there, handyman work, whether it be, I don't know, hanging awnings or walking dogs, running a blog like this. A lot of people want to watch these kind of YouTube videos, even not just necessarily face-to-face stuff, but you hiking certain places, you checking it out, you talking about it. That's a way to make just extra money. $100 a month, $100 a week, that adds up. Sometimes that can pay for your food. A lot of people, especially the locals, are on food stamps. I mean, I've never done the food stamp program here on this island, so I don't know how it works, but I know a lot of people, do that. When I say a lot, that's not an exaggeration either. You gotta qualify though. Other ways to get income, man, you gotta be thrifty. You gotta be ready. You can save money. The ways you can save money using public transportation, but you gotta keep in consideration: is there public transport that goes from your house to your place? A lot of people ride bicycles. Motor scooters are popular, but motor scooters are good for short run, but if you're trying to go long distance on a motor scooter, no way, dude. You cannot go long haul on a moped because those things only go 40 miles an hour and they're like 50 cc's. I don't know the exact cc, but I know that once you go over a certain cc, then it's you got to be licensed and tagged. Most mopeds are below that, so they don't have to be licensed and tagged. You know, so mopeds you can pick them up for like $1,000, but I highly recommend trying to get on the internet, learn some way to generate income, whether it be an Amazon store, a blog. You know, a vlog is a video log, and a blog is a writing, you know, where you're a website. Some people have gotten really creative. Like, there's all sorts of different markets here that you can pick up on. Like, even if you wanted to start up your own tour, like I had the idea recently when I was down there at the cruise ship. I was talking to some locals, and they not locals, I'm sorry, people from the cruise ship were coming up to me, and they were like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I live here," and they're like, "Really?" And they seem to always want to snorkel, you know. And I'm like, "Geez, do you guys just want me to take you on a snorkeling tour?" Like, and it was like there was a bunch of people just standing around ready to go on snorkeling tours. So I was like, heck, man, I'll get like 20 of these cruise ship people. I'll just stand there and say, "You guys want to snorkel today? Give me $20 a person, $5 for a mask, and we'll go. $25. I'll take you right where you need to go." And a lot of them, you know, they're intimidated to get in the water, but if I take the lead, I notice they'll follow, you know, and then other people will follow too. So, and I'm using that as an example. I'm not saying you have to do tours or snorkeling. I'm saying, like, there's little things that you kind of pick up on that are in demand. Like, even like people have done these they're like food trucks. Food trucks seem to be pretty popular with people because really there's a shortage of cheap food and even food in general. I mean, it seems like the food thing just never goes away. That's why I was telling you guys, chefs. But if you want a stable income, yeah, definitely look at the resorts. I'm pretty sure you can get a decent job with a nice wage that probably will require you to only have to do one job, maybe not even have to do dual incomes. But if you're trying to make smoothies and make $10 an hour, work at McDonald's without having to work 20 hours a day, you know, because $200 a day is really kind of like your sweet spot if you're looking to live comfortably. But if you get a roommate, you know, you get a $1,600 2-bedroom, yeah, that's about the going rate, depending on where you're in Hawaii. I mean, even Oahu, I guess Big Island you can get a 2-bedroom for $1,500. Hilo probably even cheaper. But you know, you split that up between 2 people, you're looking at $800. Add in about $200 for utilities. So, but the job situation, it's not that there's not jobs, it's that there's not adequate paying jobs. And if you're trying to break into an industry as a business owner, it's a really slow process building a business in Hawaii, because it's so competitive, but also it's like it just takes a real long time to establish yourself. I've never seen anyone just land on the island and just take it by storm. No, I have not. I've even seen barons, you know, barons, like people who think they got the big money and they come in and they try and make things happen. Those guys even take time. It's really just like any other market. When you try to break into a new market, Hawaii's probably no different than others, but this one seems to be a little bit more under lock and key. They like to keep it that way because everyone will come in here and try and buy it up. So if you're trying to start up a business, I would say go online. Try to establish something online. Try to make money. Try to work virtually. Like have an income stream that's bringing money to you from an outside source. That makes sense. You just got to look into it. I mean, I would say look at jobs of the future. Like if you just type into Google jobs of the future, it'll come up. Other jobs that, like if I do like a quick search on Hawaii government jobs website. You know, they got dog walker, yet again, I brought that up, camp counselor, patient registrar, some medical, background investigator, courier, Hawaiian Airlines. It seems like, yeah, you could probably get an airport job. Airport jobs are probably available. Seems like those are a revolving door. Some people just like to wash dishes. I've met people who just wash dishes and have their little ohana, and that's all they do. Wash dishes 8 hours a day, 4 days a week, pay their $700 a month ohana. That's an ohana is a house at someone's house, like a little extension. So there's all types of different opportunities. Salespeople, if you want to sell timeshares, those guys are always looking for a new star to sell. It's tough though. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's not that it can't be done. A lot of it just seems like you just gotta stay sober. This is like the key, okay? Stay sober, stay consistent, work hard, focus. Don't get distracted by, drugs more than anything, because it seems like that's what people get sucked into, and they just never come out. By all means, when the big waves come, if you like to surf, get out there, surf, hit the waves, do all that, have fun, hike. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying don't do drugs. Don't get into the drug scene. I know that sounds cliche, but I watch a lot of people just fall victim to some real silly things because they started doing mushrooms or acid because they like to hang out in these raves, and I don't even know, Adderall. It seems like people are into this Adderall thing. I should do a video on Adderall. What do you think? Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you like. See ya.